Imagine this, it's 2 a.m. You wake up thirsty and walk toward the kitchen. The house is completely silent. As you pass a dark hallway, something feels wrong. You know nobody is there. You know your doors are locked. You know you're safe. Yet your heart starts beating faster. You look into the darkness for just a second longer than necessary. Why? Why does darkness still scare us in a world filled with lights, cameras, alarms, and locked doors? The answer isn't in the dark. The answer is hidden deep inside your brain. And once you understand it, you'll never look at darkness the same way again. Darkness is one of the oldest fears humans have. What's strange is that darkness itself has never harmed anyone. Nobody has ever been attacked by darkness. Nobody has ever been injured by darkness. So why does simply turning off the lights make people uncomfortable? To understand this, we need to travel back tens of thousands of years. Long before cities, long before electricity, long before civilization. Back to a time when humans were not the dominant species on Earth. In fact, for much of our history, we were prey. And night was one of the most dangerous times to be alive. Imagine you're an ancient human living 50,000 years ago. The sun begins to set. The world changes. Your vision becomes weaker. Strange sounds come from the darkness, and somewhere beyond the trees, predators are waking up. Large cats, wolves, hyenas, creatures that can see much better in the dark than you can. You hear a rustle in the bushes. What do? Ignore it? Or assume it's dangerous? The humans who ignored potential threats often didn't survive long enough to pass on their genes. But the cautious humans did. Generation after generation, evolution rewarded people who treated darkness as a warning sign. The result? Modern humans inherited brains that become more alert whenever visibility drops. That's why your body reacts before your logical mind does. Your instincts are much older than your house, much older than your city, and much older than modern civilization itself. But here's where things get really strange. Darkness doesn't just make you cautious, it changes how your brain works. Let's say there's a jacket hanging on a chair in a dark room. During the day, you instantly recognize it as a jacket. At night, it suddenly looks like a person. Why? Because your brain hates missing information. When you can't clearly see your surroundings, your brain begins filling in the blanks. And it almost always fills those blanks with possibilities that could be dangerous. A shadow becomes a figure. A creaking sound becomes footsteps. A moving curtain becomes something watching you. The funny thing is that your brain knows it's guessing. But throughout human history, guessing wrong in the direction of danger was safer than guessing wrong in the direction of safety. If your ancestors mistook a bush for a predator, they lost a few seconds. If they mistook a predator for a bush, they could lose their lives. Think of your brain as a computer. Deep inside it is survival software that was installed thousands of generations ago. And that software hasn't received many updates. It still treats uncertainty as a potential threat. This explains why people often feel uneasy in dark forests, empty parking lots, abandoned buildings, silent hallways, deep caves. None of these places are automatically dangerous, but they all share one thing: uncertainty. Your brain can't fully predict what's there. And humans have always disliked uncertainty. In fact, researchers believe that fear of the unknown may be stronger than fear of actual danger. Sometimes people are more frightened by what they imagine than by what's actually present. Darkness gives imagination room to run wild, and imagination can create monsters where none exist. This is also why horror movies are so effective. Notice something: the scariest part of a horror movie usually isn't when the monster appears. It's before that, when you're waiting, when you don't know what's hiding around the corner, when the hallway is dark, when the basement door slowly opens. The fear comes from uncertainty. Your brain starts creating possibilities, and most of those possibilities are worse than reality. Filmmakers understand this psychological weakness better than almost anyone. They use darkness because darkness activates ancient survival systems that humans still carry today. But here's the biggest twist. The fear of darkness isn't actually about darkness. It's about information. Humans feel safest when they understand what's happening around them. The moment information disappears, anxiety begins to grow. Darkness removes information. That's why a familiar room can suddenly feel different when the lights go out. The room hasn't changed, only your ability to see it has, and that small change is enough to awaken instincts that evolved over thousands of years. So the next time you find yourself staring into a dark room, remember this: the darkness isn't what's frightening you. You're feeling the echoes of an ancient survival system that helped your ancestors stay alive. A system built in a world where the dark truly was dangerous. And even though modern life has changed dramatically, your brain still remembers. Because some fears are so old that they've become part of what it means to be human. And that's why humans still fear the dark.